Good afternoon, everybody. It's a very awful, rainy, miserable Monday afternoon here in northwest London. Don't know what it's like in your part of the world. I hope it's a lot cheerier. Um, Not so cheery on the football pitch either, really. After the draw against Brighton at the weekend, which has severely dented our hopes of Champions League. You know, we live in dream, don't we? And there is still that dream with 2 games to go. We might still be in there, but the reality is that it's looking like it will be Europa Conference League football with 3 more points to get there. After the results that some went our way, some didn't go our way over the weekend. The Everton result clearly meant that we only need 3 more points in order to make it for the Europa Conference League. I don't mind it. Of course, we'd all rather something a bit more. I'm going to go through what our opportunity, what our chances are, as to what we might make with the last 2 games of the Premier League to go. Now, I hate the fact that we have to rely on other teams to get into any particular European competition, but it's an awful lot better than talking about relying on other teams to avoid relegation, isn't it? So it makes a massive change there. And let's start off with the Champions League itself, because we're still in with a mathematical chance of making it, but an awful lot of things have got to go our way. So let's just scrutinise those for a second. So, if West Ham United win the next 2 games against West Brom and Southampton, that will obviously stand us in good stead. But in order to make Champions League, it means that Chelsea have to lose their next 2 games against Leicester and Aston Villa. Not easy games, but it's not beyond the realms of possibility which way those can go. But it's a big ask, isn't it? Now, all right, Leicester beat Chelsea in the FA Cup final. Will they be successful again in beating them in the Premier League? Who knows? Aston Villa, they're not a bad side to be reckoned with. But Chelsea have to lose both games. Liverpool have to lose 1 game and at least draw in their next game, and they've got Burnley and they've got Crystal Palace. Burnley, 1 minute they're thumping teams 3 or 4-0, and the next minute they're losing to the likes of West Ham United. And then Crystal Palace and dark horses again. And I don't know. I mean, again, it's an awful tall order for Liverpool to not win one of those 2 games there. And then, of course, we got Spurs, who have sort of leapt up in front of us, ahead of us in the league on goal difference. And they've got to lose one of their last 2 games between Aston Villa and Leicester again. So we've got to win both games. We've got to hope that Chelsea lose both games. We've got to hope that Liverpool lose 1 game and draw 1 game. And we've got to hope that Spurs lose 1 game. So if that happens... If that happened, West Ham will finish in 4th place on 65 points, Chelsea on 64, Liverpool on 64 and Spurs on 62. Now, it's a tall order. We know that. So I think we've just got to put Champions League behind us now and focus on what else could be more realistic. Well, the more realistic option, of course, is Europa League. We're still in there. Again, we've got to make sure we do our business. We've got to win at least 1 game, and we've got to draw 1 game from our next 2 against West Bromwich Albion and Southampton. And we've got to hope that Spurs lose one of their 2 games from Aston Villa or Leicester. Now, to be honest, that's much more realistic. Will we get 3 more points from our last 2 games? Sorry, will we get 4 more points from our last 2 games? I think it's doable. There's absolutely no reason why not. And will Spurs lose one of their 2 games against Villa or Leicester? That's doable as well. If that happens, then we'll go up into 6th place, and Spurs will drop below us 1 point, and that will secure us Europa League position. And then the more realistic target, of course, is the Europa Conference League. All we need is just one more win from one of our last 2 games against Albion or against Southampton. And that picture in the background is the Tirana Stadium. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's in Tirana, Albania. And that's where the final will be held next season, the Europa Conference League final. So whoever fancies a trip to Albania, that's where it will be. So that's really the more realistic option, isn't it? We've only got to get 3 more points, and we've secured ourselves. It's absolutely hammering it down. I've got to go and close the windows in a minute. But anyway, that's the more realistic option, isn't it? Really, it's the 2 games we've got. We've just got to get 3 more points, and we've definitely made Europe, and it will be the Europa Conference League in 7th place. But this option, it's there for the taking. We've just got to do the business. I know we haven't been on form lately, lost 3, drawn 1, won 1 in our last 5 games. Hasn't been brilliant, but it's doable, isn't it, against West Brom away and Southampton at home. And if we get 4 more points, and then Spurs lose one of their games, we're in Europa League. And I'll tell you what, there's some big teams in the Europa League next season by the looks of it. So it's all there, isn't it? I mean, I'm going to dream a bit more. That's how we'll get Champions League. It's beyond us. I know. But let's dream a bit. West Ham winning our 2 games, Chelsea losing their 2, Liverpool losing 1 and drawing 1, and Spurs losing 1. And if that happens, we will get into the Champions League. We've left it a bit late. More realistic, as I've said, Europa League. We win 1, we draw 1, 63 points. Spurs lose one of their games on 62, and we'll make Europa League. But the more realistic and the more, something that's really tangible is just get 3 points from one of our last 2 games, and we're in the Europa League. It's doable. They're all doable, but I think we've left it a little bit too late to dream about Champions League. We've not left it too late for Europa League, and that would be great if we do it. But Europa Conference. Now, I've heard people, I've read people in social media, on Facebook, etc., going, we don't want Europa League and we don't want Europa Conference League. It's not going to do us any good, because we don't have a big enough squad. And look what's happened to the likes of Wolves being in Europa League and all that. But you know what? It doesn't mean we're going to go the same way. I know it's going to be more difficult playing games on a Thursday night and then playing again on a Sunday or maybe even a Monday if we are in Europa League. I know it's not going to be easy, but it's how you manage the squad and how look at the way David Moyes has managed the squad over the past 3 or 4 months, where we've had a whole load of injuries and he's drawn on his on the squad. And players have come in and put in performances that we never thought they'd be able to do, and that's kept us going. It's kept the momentum going. I know we've got players like Jesse Lingard in on loan, to boost the team, but nonetheless, the squad itself has done the business. Now there are going to be players going, and there are going to be new players coming in, and people do say we need 4 or 5 players. We do. I totally agree. I think in order to give us a real fighting chance of the Premier League next season and Europe next season as well. Yeah, we do need to get strength in depth. It's quite likely that if we don't have all the money that Moyes doesn't have all the money that he needs, he's going to probably bring players in on loan, which I don't mind. So long as they do the business. Look at Jesse Lingard on loan. He's scored 9 goals for us. Assisted in something like 4. Fantastic return. And if we get players in on loan that can do that for us, especially players with a bit of European experience as well, then why not? So absolutely, we need to strengthen in depth, absolutely, in order to give us a fighting chance. But I ask you, what would you rather have? Would you rather have another great Premier League run next season? Or would you like to get something out of Europe? Or would you like to get something out of a domestic cup? I'm in two minds. Premier League is great. Of course, it's fantastic. It shows that we can progress and it'd be great to have another season, a really good season in the Premier League. But if we have a bit of a run in Europa or Europa Conference, if we win Europa Conference, or if we win one of the cups, FA Cup, etc., will that be good enough as well? I don't know. But in terms of strengthening in depth, let's just go divert for 1 second and congratulate Mipo Odebeko, who won the Premier League 2 Player of the Month award for April. So we had Jesse winning the Premier League Player of the Month and the Goal of the Month, and now we've had Mipo winning the Premier League 2 Player of the Month for Premier League 2 for the Academy League. Great return for Mipo in April. 5 goals in 4 Premier League 2 games and getting us 7 points, which took us out of the relegation zone. We're back in. We're staying in the Premier League 2, which can only bode well for those players. It will give them more opportunities to sort of demonstrate how good they are in that league. And I know Premier League 2 is not the same. The Academy League is not the same as the Premier League, but still, it's an opportunity for the players to show what they're capable of and whether they can make the step up into the Premier League itself. And well done, Mipo. It's fantastic for him. Right, so let's have a look at some comments. This is a very, very short one. We don't want to go on for hours in the West Ham Daily. I'll do that tonight in the West Ham Weekly. I promise you. Got a lot to talk about tonight. Good evening, good afternoon, Ironclad. Only 2 points and a +7 goal difference should be enough. Yeah, that should be, but let's just make sure, shall we? Bernie, hello, mate. The question is, will we do it or will we blow it again? We have blown it, haven't we, up to now? I can't deny. But I think we'll get at least 1 win in order to make a secure European spot. Hello, Zach. That's not 3 points for Europa League, though, is it? No, it's 3 points for the Conference League. European Conference League isn't a great end to the season. Finishing below Spurs is a disaster. I don't know, Zach. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I said it at the weekend in the review of the game against Brighton. What I said was, if we were sitting seventh or eighth in the league all season, and all of a sudden we're 3 points away from Europe, we'd be looking at it going, that's a great season. I think because we've been sitting so high all season and then slightly slipping at the end, that's where it feels a little bit more disappointing. Will it be a disaster? I don't think it will be. I agreed. I don't like Spurs finishing above us, given where we've been. But for me, it's a psychological thing. If we were 7th or 8th all season and we needed 3 more points to get into Europe, we'd all turn around and go, absolutely brilliant, and we wouldn't be looking as Europa Conference League as a disaster, to be honest with you. So I guess it's a psychological thing. Scott, a couple of wins, win position us well. Will position us well. Absolutely, we got to do it. It's always been in our own hands. Scott, would anyone surprised that Atkinson let the Liverpool game go an extra 2 minutes in stoppage time after not calling for penalties for West Brom? No, not surprised at all, mate. Bernie, I agree, Zach. I think it's becoming disappointing. It's been a good season, but to end up where we are now is frustrating. I still feel we'll make the mistake of selling with first having a replacement in place. Have faith, people. Have faith. I know what it's been like with West Ham over the last couple of, the last sort of 7, 8, 9, 10 years. But David Moyes has come in now. I didn't give this man credit where credit's due. He's come in and he's come in for the second time and he's probably gone to the board. You want me back? It's going to be on my terms, and my terms is going to be how I run. What players I want in, what players I want out. If I want to let players go, you can't argue with me. If I want to bring players in, you can't argue with me. Do you honestly think that the board would have allowed to lose so much money on Sebastian Haller if Moyes hadn't turned around and said, I'll let him go. I don't want him in the squad. I'll let him go. take a big loss, half the money lost. And then Anderson, another big signing, let him go out on loan. I don't want him in the squad. I've got other ideas. Do you really think if Moyes hadn't been in charge, that would have happened? I don't think so. So I think, as much as like he's made me eat my words, David Moyes, and I think we won't sell before we've got a replacement. We keep talking about, and I kept saying it, in the winter transfer window, we need a striker, we need a striker, we need a striker. What's he doing bringing Jesse Lingard in? Jesse Lingard has come in, he scored 9 goals. We don't know if a striker, whether on loan or as a purchase, would have done that. We really don't know. And so you've got to have a bit of faith. And I think it's going to change. I think Moyes has come in and he's gone, let me do it the way I know how to do it. But David Moyes has put us in European spot, people, and if you remember, we were languishing in the bottom of the league when he took us when he took over for the second time. Father Snowman, hello mate, I hope you're well. Thank you for joining. Bernie again, it was a mistake to sell players without first lining up a replacement in January, but all very well done. But there you go, we brought Lingard in. So I was disappointed that we let Haller go, but would Haller have scored 9 goals at Lingard and made the assists? One will never know, but the fact that Lingard has done it and Haller's gone, you could almost say that was a replacement for him. Zach, exactly, Scott. Should have blown up long before the goal came. On the plus side, West Brom will be knackered after that performance. We should have more energy after ours. Absolutely. Good shout there, Zach. Father Snowman, going to say Moyes was to blame for this. Why didn't he strengthen in January? Well, I think he did. He brought Jesse Lingard in, and we don't know if a striker would have done any better. So I don't know. Did he not strengthen? I don't know. It's a tough one. Bernie, what more? We wasted some great chances that would have seen us in the Champions League. Instead, we're now hanging on for a European place. That I agree with. We have had a lot of chances. We've blown it. We fluffed it in terms of some of the performances we put in. And it's not just in attack, but in defence as well. We've started to leak too many goals. We haven't had a clean sheet for God knows how long. I think since Leeds. And I think that's it's been, in that respect, it's been disappointing. Absolutely. Father Snowman, I said during the halftime Brighton game, it looks like these two teams are already on holiday. No fizzle, sparkle with a new strike almost confirmed today. It may help Antonio as an impact sub player. New striker. What new striker was confirmed today? Tell me about it. Bernie, I agree. We've been struggling for some time now and look like a team that wants the season to end. I disagree again. I'm sorry, mate. I do. I think we're really disappointed in the way the season's gone. And there's been effort. There has been effort, but it's just not paid off. We've played 3 teams in the past few games who have done exactly the same to us in each game. Chelsea, Everton, and Brighton, where they've allowed us to come at them. And that's not our game. Our game is more about sort of playing on the counter attack. And what Chelsea and Everton and Brighton did was they said, come at us, we'll hit you on the break. And that's exactly what they did. The difference being between those 3 games is that we got a goal back against Brighton, whereas we couldn't get a goal back against Everton or against Chelsea. Hello, Reese. I hope you're well. Thanks for joining. Afternoon, Stu. Thank you for joining. Sunny in Hornchurch. You bloody well ain't sunny here, mate. I'll tell you that. Good afternoon, Neil. I hope you're well. 10:28 on Monday night. So, Neil, I'm going to be on about 7:30 tonight. What time is that going to be? Or you're going to be fast asleep in bed? Bernie, no, Gary, but just get the job done. It's been a good season, and we're all pleased at that. It has been a good season. It has, absolutely. Sabina, how are you? Do you have your cuppa ready? Did Neil make it for you? Luke, nice Villa retro badge. I didn't even notice, mate. I just picked out the first one I could find. Mick, hello, mate. Afternoon. Or I don't care what European football we get. And I'm exactly the same, to be honest with you. Of course, it's going to be disappointing not being in Champions League and maybe not even Europa League. But I'd be happy. European football people. People used to mock some of the lower European competitions from yesteryear. European Cup Winners' Cup was never as good as the European Cup or the UEFA Cup and stuff like that. European Cup Winners' Cup was kind of considered European Cup, which is now the Champions League, UEFA Cup, which is now Europa League, and then Cup Winners' Cup. We've won it. West Ham United in the 60s, we were we were runners up in 75, 76. So you know what? I won't mock it. I won't knock it either. Europe is Europe, and I think can only bode well. Yeah, great. We want to be in Champions League. Who the hell doesn't? For the money that you can make, etc., etc. And the second best, yeah, okay, Europa League. But if we don't get that, for me, Europa Conference League is absolutely fine for me, in all honesty. Gary, Moyes just didn't want to waste money on any old striker. He wanted a striker that was going to fit our system. Good point. And then he got in Lingard, who scored 9 goals. We are I know, mate. I know we're clutching, but do you know what? Let's go back to this. How would we feel if after Tuesday and Wednesday's games, we win our game, Chelsea have lost theirs, Liverpool have lost theirs. Let's get that away so I can see the bottom. And then Spurs have lost theirs. Now, if that happened, all of a sudden, it's game on again. How would we feel if that started to materialise? I mean, come on, people. We'd be able to dream again, wouldn't we? I know I'm clutching. I am clutching. Mick, 6 is a good shout for us now. Absolutely. It would be fantastic. Neil, Liverpool, let's get that away. Liverpool winning might depend on how many goals Alisson scores. Yeah. Yeah. Good afternoon. Oh, by the way, thank you. I always forget. Anton does it religiously, and I always forget. Afternoon, Russ. I hope you're well. Loving the old school Villa. I think I might just put all old vintage badges up from now on rather than the recent ones. I hope you're well, Russ. And if you haven't yet subscribed, and I'm sure you all have, make sure you subscribe to Russ's My Hammers 11. Some brilliant content there. Gary, yeah, looks like Liverpool got a new striker. Mick, 1 win absolutely gets us into Europe. Why not? And why not? Roma looks set for the Conference League. That will be a good game. Oh, going to Rome. God, Tirana, here we come. Bloody spell check. Russ Astragugu in the Romanian Cup final. It's happening again. Oh dear. Can you imagine? We owe them one. Mick, 32 teams in all European competitions, same amount of matches. Gary, can see a few youngsters being played if we get in the conference. Why not? Why not? I'm very well, Gary, and I hope you're well too. Good afternoon, Sean. I hope you're well. Thanks for the reply in the email last night. Good afternoon, Ken. I think if we qualify for any kind of Europe, we need 7 or 8 players of quality to compete. Otherwise, league form is majorly going to suffer, and that's your bread and butter, and we need to build on this. I agree with you, Kent, but I don't think we'll get anywhere near 7 or 8 players, to be honest, mate. If we get 5, I think we'd have done well, and that might be 5, including Lingard as well. Gary, hi. That is right. If you get into the final, we would have played an extra 17 games. Yeah, so 17 games, that would be absolutely worth it. Kent, you want the season to progress. We've got the weekly tonight. We sure have, and I'll be back for that. Robert, hello, mate. Might be a blessing with the squad being up to speed for the start of the league. Yeah, but they are tired. Kent, what time am I on? I'm aiming for 8:30, not much later, mate, to be honest with you. Jeff, our bubble hasn't faded and died just yet. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. Mick, let's be positive. Not that long ago, we were fighting relegation. Don't turn into Spurs fans. Has still been kidnapped by aliens. I'm forever hopeful, mate. Forever hopeful, Bernie. Deadpool, hello, mate. European place gets Moyes a bit more money for transfer. Good shout. Now we know that money in Europa League and money in Europa Conference League is going to be pitiful. But if that means another player, then why not? We know Champions League football money is madness. It's sort of 70 million odd pounds. But you're right, Deadpool. You're absolutely right. A bit more European places might get us a bit more money for players. WHU, hello, mate. Expectations have been too high lately, when in reality we've had a good season considering where we were at the start of the season. Absolutely. Let's take you back to the first, 7 or 8 games when we looked at the fixtures and went, a lot of people went, we're not going to get a point out of this. We might be in relegation zone before the season, before the season even starts. And look what happened. So Arture, hello, mate. How come 3 points? If Spurs win the next two games, there will be 6 points. Yeah, but 3 more points gets us in European Conference League. That's what happens, mate, and we'll finish in seventh. Scott, Moyes has shown he can work with what we have and make players work in our system. With our lack of depth, that's a big piece of work. I totally agree, and I'll give him credit where credit's due. I really didn't think he'd do it. I wasn't for it, but he's come and he's proved us all wrong. Hello, Azzy, our Newcastle fan. I hope you're well. January window is always a tough window to strengthen. Lots of overpaid players. I don't blame Moyes for not investing after selling Haller. So let's see what he does in the summer. Hello, Anil. I wanted a second body as well as Lingard in the January window. Haller was a waste of space after a good start under Pellegrini. Well, I've got different views on Haller. My view on Haller is that I think, if we'd have kept him, he might have got us a few more goals. I don't think he was that much of a waste of space. Let's not forget, Haller scored 7 goals for us before he went off. Seema, that's the, yeah, I know apparently we have been talking about Seema. Let's see. Steve, hello, mate. Steve Felson. If we make Europe, can we get a European advert for the channel? I promise I'll do one, Steve. No complaints about the team's efforts from Scott. Steve, Cornwall is wet and dry and wet. Well, I'm not going there then because me and the missus talked about where do we go for a British holiday. Cornwall was one of them, mind you. It's hit and miss wherever you go in Britain, isn't it? You might get, last time we went to Cornwall, we had a whole week's worth of beautiful weather. But will we get it again? Yeah. WHU, it looks like we might be buying Abdallah. Don't get carried away. It'd be great if we do, but don't get carried away. It's going to be a long transfer window, a couple of months. Arture, the Moyes' big mistake is the way he deals with Benrahma. He almost destroyed him instead of helping him adapt to the Premier League. I don't like the way Moyes talks about Benrahma publicly, I must admit, but I hope the goal he scored, and it was such a great goal. I hope that gives him the momentum for the last 2 games. Nil down under, 8:30 there, will be 5 a.m. here. Hopefully I will be awake. Incredible. Father Snowman, Slavia Prague, SEMA manager, confirmed talks being finalised. Well, if it happens, it will be fantastic. Anil, I think we'll finish 6th. That would be fantastic. I still think we'll finish 6th. I do. I think we'll go back up above Spurs. Sean, I don't care what competition we're in, wherever it might be. I'll catch you all on the European tour. We'll see you there, mate. But there are a couple of places I might not want to go to. Rome might be one of them. The Italian fans are mad, mind you. Paolo might guard us, mind you. He's not. Yeah, they might not like him either. And the final in Albania, full of gangsters there, mate. I don't know if we've got any Albanian or Italian fans watching this. My apologies if we have. Scott, glad to see you're in good spirits today. Still, always in good spirits, even though it's Monday and it's pissing down with rain. Oh, shouldn't have sworn. But yeah. Jobertinho, new name. Progress is progress, baby. Absolutely. Or Jobertinho, my apologies. Welcome to the channel. Raymond Diebel, Albania nice and sunny with bullets over there. There you go. I'm glad you said it and I didn't. I see Everton's home curse struck again. You see? And it makes it even more galling that we didn't beat them. John Williams, more than happy with Conference League. What is wrong with people moaning? Look, I'm with you. Europe is Europe. We're going on a European tour. I can't wait to start getting some tickets for European games, apart from Rome and apart from Albania. Daddy UK, hello mate. I hope you're well. Long time no chat. You're in the building. Benrahma is a beast. Absolutely. Morel Folks, another new name. Welcome if it's your first time. Any European qualification is a success. Even if we miss out, we've had a good season and hopefully gives us a platform to build. Absolutely. John, does Conference League travel to Bangkok? I don't think it stretches that far, mate, I'm afraid. Jeff Gully, brilliant show. Keep up. Great. Thank you, mate. Much appreciated. Marcus Lieb, hello, mate. Sorry I'm late. Been doing the gardeners. The sun's out. Where the bloody hell are you for the sun to be out, for God's sake? John, again, proud of our team and management. It has been a great season. Absolutely. Kent, I like Haller. He needed to be fed and used right. Ken, I think you and I were the only people that wanted Haller to stay. Jabatinho, get yourself to, I'm guessing that Skeg Vegas. Skeg Vegas. I'm guessing that's Skegness. Jeff, Devon is another opportunity. Yeah, you start telling me where we should go on holiday. We might see you there. Robert, could Odebeko save West Ham millions of pounds? I think he might actually be loaned out next season to get a little bit of game time. It really, actually, you know, well, I'm going to do, I've been thinking about this. I'm going to do a special on, I'm going to talk an awful lot about the youth and loan players in my show tonight, but I'm going to do a special on our academy and who might actually really stand a good chance of breaking through, because it really does all depend on what David Moyes does in the transfer window, how many players we get in, and he might be looking at one or two players who are out on loan and and who are in our academy squad. Socek is our agent for Gary. That's for Seema. John Williams. We need Seema to give Sufal company at the bus stop. Charlie boy, are you Italian? Ciao, Charlie. Come stai? Tutto bene? What team do you support, mate? I hope I haven't offended you about going to Rome and stuff like that. Mick, all the Albanian gangsters are here. Albania is safe. Neil, Neil from Down Under. His full name is Abdallah Depot Seema. I didn't know it was Depot. So we could have a Depot and a Meepo. We've already got a Depot, but he might not be staying with us next season. So Depot and Meepo as our main strikers in the future. Could be. You never know. Marcus, Pompeii, funny enough. Pompeii. What's going on in Pompeii? Oh, that's where you are. And it's sunny. Oh, wow, yeah, nice part there, Portsmouth. Yeah, Reese, if it travels to Bangkok, then still will be after the you cheeky little git. WHU, I'm going to plan some of my holidays next year around our European ventures. Equals, especially about Bulgaria's all right. I've got well, the other half's got friends in Bulgaria and Romania. Free accommodation for nice one. Well, you know what? I haven't told the missus this yet, but that's what I was going to do. I was going to do exactly the same. I think it's really nice in Bulgaria in October, you know, in the middle of December. Why do you want to go in the middle of December? Well, we might catch a game or two. Scott, Alesi is up and coming, a replacement for Oggy. He's absolutely one of them. I second Skeg Vegas too. What a wonderful place. Luke, how many languages do I know? I know I can speak English, well, just about. Greek, Italian, and an awful lot of crap as well is my fourth language. So there you go. WHU, Albania is very safe because the car wash. Oh dear, Charlie boy, I only support West Ham. Mum is from Napoli, and we don't like Rome. Great, Charlie. When we get over to Rome, to play Roma, can you meet us and look after us, mate? Thank you very much. John Williams, I'm on the racky again. And Reese, that was sarcastic. Skegness is awful. And that is me done, people. Half an hour gone. Vinay, I'm just about to go, mate. So you're going to have to watch the rewind or replay or whatever you want to call it. I hope you're well. That's me done. I got to go. And now the sun's out, even though it's raining. I mean, looking out this window, the sun's out, and looking out of that window, it's raining. But anyway, join me on the West Ham Weekly tonight, around about 8:30. Going to talk an awful lot. I'm not going to talk too much about the games, and there is going to be a bit about Europe as well. But you know, I've kind of said it already today. And I'm going to talk about other things: player watch, injuries, youth watch, all that sort of stuff. So join me later on tonight for the West Ham Weekly, and have a good rest of the day. And if it's sunny where you are, I hate you. And if it's doing what it's doing here, join the club. See you later, and thank you for joining.